social media users suggested 4 African leaders who died in recent months were killed for opposing COVID-19 vaccinations for their citizens. Although some of them were coronavirus skeptics, 1 died of cancer, 2 are suspected of having died of COVID-19 and the 4th death was directly attributed to the respiratory disease. Some of the posts can be seen here and here. The posts show the faces of 4 leaders who died in office: John Magufuli, the late President of Tanzania; Bakayoko, who was Ivory Coast's Prime Minister; Ambrose Dlamini, who was Prime Minister of Eswatini; and Pierre Nkurunziza, who was Burundi's president. Together with the message were these: African leaders assassinated for opposing the COVID-19 vaccine. The late Tanzanian President John Magufuli was in his element on February 24 while unveiling the massive road project in Dar es Salaam, an accomplishment he boasted could only be achieved by the ruling CCM party. It was completed on time because no one used Corona as an excuse to delay it, he said, while applauding the contractors and also instructing government officials not to entertain anyone using the pandemic as an excuse to postpone the delivery of projects. This one was no different to previous public functions. The choir serenaded him, and he ended it with a characteristic speech extolling his mantra of hapa kazi tu work is my only focus. Tanzania is a rich country, we have to use our wealth in order to develop, he said in his remarks, which also chastised tardiness and exhorted Tanzanians to pay their taxes. 3 days later Magufuli would be seen in public for the last time. Since his first election in 2015, Magufuli cultivated the image of a rambunctious action man, a departure from his predecessor's demure and stately style. His interventionist supporters called it hands-on leadership style won him fans beyond Tanzania, especially in the East African region, where he inspired the #WackWithMagufuli Twitter hashtag, praising his no-nonsense approach to fighting corruption and tirelessly following up infrastructure projects to ensure they are completed. What most Tanzanians cared about, his fans argued, was service delivery, and Magufuli's populist governing style was effective and a model for other African leaders. COVID skeptic Magufuli died of a heart condition. Magufuli's death, at the age of 61, was announced on March 17, 2021 by Samia Suluhu Hassan, who was vice president at the time and is now president of Tanzania. Here, the death was surrounded by rumors that COVID-19 could have been the cause. Here, Britain's BBC published an article with the headline John Magufuli, the cautionary tale of the president who denied coronavirus. Magufuli, who died of a heart condition at a hospital in Dar es Salaam, had not been seen in public for 2 weeks before his death. Some opposition politicians had suggested he contracted COVID-19. He had been one of Africa's most prominent coronavirus skeptics, and called for prayers and herbal-infused steam therapy to counter the virus, the BBC reported. There is no evidence that he was murdered. Bakayoko died of cancer and had sought vaccines for the Ivory Coast. The Ivorian Prime Minister, who was 56, died of cancer at a hospital in the German city of Freiburg as reported on March 11, 2021 by Al Jazeera and the BBC. Bakayoko's death occurred a day earlier, according to a tweet from President Alassane Ouattara. Ivory Coast's Prime Minister Bakayoko has died from cancer in the German city of Freiburg, where he was receiving medical treatment, according to the government. His death on Wednesday came 2 days after his 56th birthday and some 8 months following the passing away of his predecessor. The Prime Minister, who had come to power in July 2020 after the death of his predecessor, Amadou Gon Coulibaly, never denied the existence of the coronavirus pandemic. He had contracted COVID-19 twice, according to an article published by the Africa Report. Ivory Coast was among the first countries to receive vaccines against the disease through the COVAX vaccine sharing scheme backed by the World Health Organization (WHO). UNICEF reported on February 25 that the African nation was going to receive 504,000 doses the following day. He was a key player in the political game and a major player in reconciliation. It's a true shame, known for his rowdy political campaigns, Bakayoko was elected mayor of the Port Abidjan district of Abidjan in 2018. He won the parliamentary seat for the Segla district with 90% of the vote in Saturday's legislative election without campaigning in person. Results published on Sunday showed There is no evidence that Bakayoko may have been killed. Dlamini fought the pandemic and died after testing positive for COVID-19. Reuters reported on December 13, 2020 that Dlamini had died at the age of 52 after testing positive for COVID-19 2 weeks earlier here. Dlamini, appointed in November 2018, had been transferred on December 1 to a hospital in South Africa to be treated for the disease. In a statement released on July 8 last year on the government's website, Dlamini said his country had declared a national emergency on March 17 because of the pandemic and subsequently passed regulations to fight against it here. In Eswatini, the partial lockdown was declared to restrict the movement of people and ensure maximum compliance with health protocols based on recommendations made by the WHO and the International Labour Organization (ILO). On January 4, just under a month after Dlamini's death, authorities expressed their intention to vaccinate the entire population against COVID-19, using initiatives such as COVID-8X here. There is no evidence that Dlamini was assassinated. The heart attack caused Nkurunziza's death urgent. The government of the Republic of Burundi announces with great sadness the unexpected death of His Excellency Pierre Nkurunziza, President of the Republic of Burundi, at the Cinquantenaire Hospital in Karuzi after a heart attack on June 8, 2020, the government account said on Twitter on June 9, 2020 here. Nkurunziza's unexpected death at the age of 55, after just under 15 years in power, led to rumors that it may have been caused by a coronavirus infection, according to The Guardian here. Nkurunziza, the former soccer player, had not imposed restrictions in the country, and allowed big sports events and political demonstrations to continue. According to The Guardian, Burundi authorities were accused of deliberately downplaying the threat of the coronavirus pandemic. Speculation about the cause of his death was fueled by unconfirmed reports that his wife had flown to Nairobi, the capital of Kenya, 10 days earlier, after being infected with COVID-19. Burundi under Nkurunziza was cast as a global pariah. International financial and economic support was all but frozen. Long accused of gross human rights violations, Burundi became hostile towards the international community. It purged national and international NGOs, and expelled the personnel of international institutions. The World Health Organization's country representative was the most recent casualty. Burundi is expelling the national head of the World Health Organization who during a presidential election campaign where politicians have pressed ahead with large rallies despite the risk from the coronavirus pandemic. The government confirmed on Thursday that a May 12 letter from the Foreign Ministry was sent to country head Walter Kazadi Malumbo and 3 aides ordering them out by Friday. The vote for a successor to President Pierre Nkurunziza, whose government has been repeatedly accused of rights abuses and has previously expelled other representatives of international bodies, is due on May 28. Bernard Ndayiragije, the Foreign Affairs Assistant Minister, confirmed the WHO officials had been declared persona non grata but did not give reasons. There was no immediate comment from the WHO, which is an agency of the United Nations. In 2018, it expelled UN investigators looking into allegations of rights abuses. The United Nations has previously accused security personnel and a ruling party militia of orchestrating gang rapes, torture and killings. Burundi has so far reported a relatively low caseload of the COVID-19 disease, 27 infections and 1 death, to which is most strange is the president. There is no evidence that Nkurunziza was killed. Verdict false. There is no evidence that leaders of Tanzania, Ivory Coast, Eswatini and Burundi were killed for refusing to vaccinate their countries against COVID-19. Malian Trim leader says he's well after assassination attempt updated July 28, 2021 10:46 a.m. Malian interim President Colonel Assimi Goïta survived an assassination attempt at a mosque in Bamako on Tuesday, in the latest blow to stability in a country reeling from 2 military coups in less than a year. 2 assailants, one of whom was wielding a knife, attacked Goïta after prayers at the capital's Grand Mosque for the Islamic festival of Eid al-Adha, and AFP journalist saw Goïta, a Special Forces colonel who was named transitional president in May, was quickly whisked away by security. The journalist saw blood at the scene, although it was unclear who was wounded. Goïta later appeared on the state broadcaster ORTM, where he said he was doing very well after the attack. "That's part of being a leader, there are always malcontents," he said, wearing a blue hat and shiny blue gown. There are people who at any time may want to try things to cause instability. His office released a statement saying that Goita was safe and sound after what was labeled an assassination attempt. Security had subdued one attacker, and investigations are ongoing, the presidency added. The assailants went for the president as an imam was directing worshippers outside the Great Mosque for a ritual animal sacrifice. Religious Affairs Minister Mamadou Kone, who was at the mosque, told AFP that a man had tried to kill the president with a knife but was apprehended. The mosque's director, Labis Toure, said an attacker had lunged at the president but wounded someone else. Later, a security official who requested anonymity said that 2 people had been arrested and were now in detention. Goita referred to only one attacker during his televised address, however, as did his Prime Minister, Chotwell Pakalamaiga, who made a similar statement. The atmosphere in Bamako was calm on Tuesday after the assault, according to AFP journalists, including in the area surrounding the mosque. Political turmoil. The shocking attack follows months of political turmoil in Mali, which is also battling a jihadist insurgency that has claimed thousands of lives and driven hundreds of thousands from their homes. Goita was sworn into office in June after leading the country's second coup in less than a year. He headed the push last August that ousted elected President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta after weeks of mass protests over corruption and the long-running jihadist conflict. The junta then handed power to a civilian-led transitional government which promised to restore civilian rule in February 2022. But in late May, Goita, who was vice president under the transitional government, ousted the president, Bob Ndiaye, and Premier Mokhtar Tchouane, saying they had sought to sabotage the handover. In June, with Goita as interim president, a new government was unveiled, with military figures in key roles. Facing the wrath of the African Union and the West African Regional Bloc ECOWAS, Goita vowed the government would uphold all its commitments and pledged to stage credible, fair and transparent elections. Fragile country. The assassination bid is the latest episode in the country's long history of turbulence. Mali, the deeply poor state of around 20 million people, has known little stability or democracy since it gained independence from France in 1960. Its West African neighbors have been viewing the deepening crisis with disquiet, fearing the impact on efforts to stem the jihadist insurgency in the Sahel. The bloody campaign erupted in the north of Mali in 2012, and has since spread to Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger. Thousands of soldiers and civilians have been killed and hundreds of thousands have fled their homes. France, the mainstay of the anti-jihadist operation, has been especially critical of the military takeover in Mali. In the course of 9 months, 2 East African presidents have died of health problems. Both were COVID-19 deniers, but many people believe they succumbed to this disease.